Rock 102.1, KFMA.
Hey, it's the Boy Wonder broadcasting live from Fallball. Of course, we're out here. Gates are open. Swing on by. I mean, it's going to be a pretty cool fest. Lots of really awesome bands. And one of those awesome bands I have with me, well, one of the members today, Kyle from Beware of Darkness. How's it going today, man?
So excited to be here.
Yeah? That's cool, man. We're excited
for
you to be out here. We caught you last night at Raw at the Rock, and that was... I don't want to say anything. I mean, all the other bands were great, but easily my favorite part of the...
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's
definitely. So,
appreciate that.
Did you? So you got to hang out in Tucson last night for a little bit. What did you end up doing last night?
I had a pretty crazy night, to be honest with you.
Good.
I bought an ice cream cone and I got some clothes, so I'm feeling pretty haggard right now.
Well, that's what you do when you come to Tucson.
No, I went to the Hub.
Okay, Hub.
I got it. It was like one of the best ice cream cones I've ever had in my life. And then I walked by Hotel Congress down 4th, I guess, and I got this shirt. And like 5 other things at Gypsy Frog.
Oh, nice. So you're really doing it. You're taking in the Tucson culture, our ice cream and our clothing, which, I mean, Hub is kind of known for their really tasty ice cream and stuff.
Delicious.
Yeah.
So the best I've ever had.
I'm glad that you were able to kind of get out and see what we're about and stuff.
Yeah, it was a very good night. One of my favorite things to do on tour is to just walk alone.
Right.
Sadly.
No, it's not sad. What do you do? Just like kind of reflect and think about the city that you're in?
I get really mopey and melancholy, and I just walk around.
Nothing wrong with. I mean, that might.
I think about life. I think about but in all seriousness, though, that's actually one of the coolest parts about touring is that you find yourself in places and situations that you never would have thought.
Right.
Of, you know. So like last night was one of it where you just wake up in Tucson and it was midnight and I'm walking around
and you just have to deal with it,
exploring. You know.
And I mean,
I love that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay because we can. I think we can. It's okay.
I love those kinds of things.
We love that poop.
Yeah.
I mean, Tucson, you got lucky because it's nice enough to walk around. You have 4th Avenue and downtown Congress and stuff. It really is. It's a big difference. Like you play in Phoenix,
you know
and
what's
it's completely.
Crazy? We played at Hotel Congress like 4 years ago.
Okay.
And there was like 3.5 people there.
Really?
It was one of the first tours we've ever done.
All right.
So it was really nice and reminiscent being back here and just being able to explore the area and walking around.
And now you have a lot more people coming out.
Here we are.
So I mean,
it's actually our first show in 255-degree weather that we've ever played.
We've gotten up to 255, new record, which it does feel like it. My skin is melting. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad that you guys were able to come through. I was going to ask you if you played here before, but then I faintly remember you guys playing at Club Congress. So yeah,
if it makes you feel better, I totally forgot to.
Oh, it's okay.
Last night, yeah.
This place looks familiar to me.
Yeah.
So I mean, got to see some of Tucson. So getting to some questions. You just released your latest album last month, right? About what month to the day, I think, too. September.
Sorry, what? It was September 16th.
Yeah, September 16th. A month to the day. You released your second album. What was the big difference, other than working with a larger label in comparison with your first album in the recording process?
It's a great question. In a nutshell, the first album was one of the worst experiences of our lives, like just making it.
Right.
And it was so many things. It was like the personal space I was in. It was the people we worked with. It was the vibes with our management and everybody. So, have you seen Vanilla Sky?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
So it's Tom Cruise and Penelope.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I love it. It's phenomenal. So there's a quote from that where it's, "You can't taste sweet without the sour."
Okay, I remember.
So we finished the first album, toured, and with the second album, Are You Real?, I wanted to see if we could make recording an album the best experience of our lives.
Right.
Because we knew what it was like to have it be a really bad experience. Mm-hmm. So I thought, okay, let's take everything we know about how not to do it and see if we can do it in the best way possible.
Smart
and
approach.
make sure that the band and everyone involved has the best time of their life.
Right.
So we were very, very careful with like who we worked with, who we let in, and it was a very small group. And the thing about working with people for an album is you pay people to care about what you're doing.
It's a very intimate kind of thing.
It's very intimate. I like the word sanctuary when I describe being in the studio recording, because it's you have to feel vulnerable enough to be open and honest with who you're working with. And the thing about the first album is it was the total opposite of that. And it's with anything you do, with relationships, with your job, with art, we all have a conscious decision about what kind of environment we want to create and cultivate. So for Are You Real, I wanted to make sure we had the best experience possible, and that everyone walked away and said this was the most fun we've ever had.
Good. So you at least know what to do from now on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the coolest part, too, is like I started hearing from the people we worked with, 6 months, a year later, they loved it. So
that's good. Well, I mean, I'm happy that you have found your pacing with making albums, and getting away from all that negative energy with the first album. But it's a learning experience for you guys.
It's a learning experience, and that's the thing. Like, no one tells you how to do it, and it's funny too because I remember after we made our first album, I talked to probably like 5-10 bands who just made their first album and worked with like bigger producers, and they had the exact same experience. So,
well, when you guys get uber famous, this is something that you can go back to and look at and laugh at.
I mean, I'm the kind of person where I don't really have regret, but I'd like to learn from mistakes you make, and I make a lot of mistakes.
Smart way to go.
Exactly. So if you could take a negative, turn it into a positive, and that's what the new album's about too. It's about taking an uncertain future. It's about taking struggles, and it's going from survive to thrive.
Right. Just
that's the arching thing.
Making do with what you have, and just kind of growing off of that. Though I like that approach. It's a smart way to do it.
Yeah.
Also read somewhere that before you got into writing this album, that you wrote 100 songs, or that was your goal, and you actually made this goal. Now, is this like something that we'll see in the future, like on an EP maybe, or another album? Do you have them like saved away, or did you pick like the best?
It's a really good question. We picked the best, so we whittled it down.
Okay.
So I read what Prince does before he makes albums, and he would write like 100 songs.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that would be a good goal.
Might as well.
And I think Jim Kaufman, who's actually from Arizona, we demoed probably like 60 songs with him. Then out of those 60, we whittled it down to like 15 to 20, and we cut those for the album.
Yeah.
So my goal right now is, I don't think we have any tours after this at the end of the year, so I want to write 100 more songs by the end of the year.
It's a good idea.
A new record demoed out.
How long do you think that? What did it take you? How long last time?
That's a good question, because there was no one telling us like, hey, you need this by like
a deadline.
Deadline. There was no deadline, and it was the kind of thing where like I asked our team, I asked them like 5 times, I was like, do I need these songs by any time? They're like, no, you're fine. And then like 6 months later, it was like, where's the album? And I'm like, I thought there was no deadline.
Yeah, you guys told me.
So I think it's more of a challenge to myself of like, my goal with making albums too is I want every album we make to be better than the last album, and every song I write, I want to be better than the last song I wrote. So. Good. For this 3-month period that we're about to do, and we're getting home tomorrow, so I'm probably going to start Tuesday.
Okay.
And just write
100
songs.
Right back into it. Now,
yeah, I mean, because the mistake we made last time was, once you have momentum, you want to keep it going.
It's a freight train, man.
It's exactly. So we went from, I guess, 0 to 100, and then slowed down a lot, and then it's been a challenge getting the momentum back up. But
so you're going home. You guys are out of Santa Barbara, California?
I live in Santa Barbara.
Okay.
I've been in between Santa Barbara and LA. It's like an hour and a half difference.
Yeah, not that bad of a drive.
So I usually write in Santa Barbara or write in LA. I go back and forth like 3-4 times a week.
So you don't really take time to write anything while you're touring? You just kind of wait, get home, and find your inspiration when you get back? Or
Well, I've probably come up with like 20, 25 ideas on the road, and they're just bits and pieces.
Right.
But
that's a seed like for something,
Well,
though.
see, that's the thing. And when you talk about songwriting and anything you do, the hardest part is just getting that one idea.
Right.
It's going from 0 to an idea. But once you get that idea, you could do anything with it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a day to get the song out. Sometimes it takes a week to get the song out. And if you just nurture it and cultivate it and take care of it, then the song will come out.
So you're gonna get home, start writing. Anything planned so far for like next year? Any tours? Are you looking for any of that, festivals? Or are you kind of just?
We want to hit everything really hard.
Might as well. Fresh year. You guys just released the album, so
yeah, exactly. So I think probably next year we're gonna hopefully tour the whole year.
Cool.
Go to Europe and Australia and Japan and do all that.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and let you get going. I'm sure you got some prep going on.
I just gotta turn my amps on.
Okay. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's so much work.
Just try to stay out of this.
I usually hire people to turn the knobs on, so I can just walk on stage and
be done with
cool. But I got to turn the knobs on today, so pretty nervous.
I think you'll do all right.
You see, I have very delicate fingers too.
I do too. So
yeah. My nickname is Lady Fingers.
Lady.
Yeah.
Nobody at the station hear that because I do not want to be stuck with that. But they'll hear this eventually.
Well, I really appreciate your thoughtful questions.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate your music, and I honestly, in today's music scene, it's nice to have something a little bit more gritty and rock based because we have a lot. We have a lot of pop and stuff out there right now. So.
That's the weirdest thing about music right now. I feel like everybody's trying to write pop songs.
Right.
And I'm not I love pop songs, but there's like a great, well-written pop song, and when you do it, it's flawless. And then there's the lesser result, which is like you hear someone trying to write a pop song.
Yeah.
And for me, my favorite bands are like Muse, The White Stripes, Led Zeppelin, who they're poppy, but they're not pop songs.
No.
So they did it their own way. So like that's what we're trying to do.
You're doing it well too.
Yeah. So I appreciate that.
One last question.
It's a little bit risky. But
the name Beware of Darkness.
Yeah.
George Harrison.
Exactly.
Boom. I thought so.
I'm so glad you knew that.
Cool, man.
I'm so glad.
My
you
favorite
knew that.
Beatle, and I was just like, I bet. So I just had to get that off my shoulders.
That's awesome.
Cool.
That makes me so happy. Because most people hear the name and they're like, "Oh, cool, heavy metal name," and I'm like, "No, it's first of all, it's cautionary.
Yeah.
It's be aware
of
of darkness,
yeah.
you know." And it's a George Harrison song, off one of my favorite records of all time, "All Things Must Pass."
It's such a good one.
Amazing, right?
I listen to it
Everything
at least
about
once a month.
The production, Phil Spector did such a great job. It's nothing sounds like it. And for me, that record, I don't know about you, but like it was the first time that someone took. Now I'm talking about pop songwriting, but it was the first time someone took really great songwriting and like spiritual lyrics together, I think, and like wanted to help people and like change the world.
Well,
you know, so like that kind of became our manifesto too.
Might as well, because you're putting goodness out there. I mean, that's something that I love, instead of like negativity that you're. I mean, we have enough of that in the world.
See, that's exactly
Put some
right.
good energy
That's
out there.
Right. I say to myself like probably a couple times a week where it's like, there's already so much anger in the world. It's like, who am I to add some more?
Right.
You know, it's like I think everybody should ask, like, when you wake up today, are you going to make the world a better place? Or are you going to make it a worse place? And you think about life too. Like, what are you going to do with your life? You know, you're going to help people, or are you going to get in people's way? You know,
right. Be part of the solution and not the problem.
Exactly.
This interview has been turned into
so
some existential. I love it, but I'm going to let you get going
right,
though. I got to
appreciate
get up on
it so
stage.
much.
But thanks again, Kyle.
Thank you.
And get out here. It's Fallball 2016 with the Boy Wonder.
Rock 102.1 KFMA.